Sherry was 13 years old when her father took her to get the vaccine in August, and she had a reaction to the shot. She was taken to the hospital for cognitive dysfunction and heart pain. They had to place her, a 13-year-old girl, on life support. A few days later, her condition improved a little bit, and her mother was able to move her to home for home care. She was verbally unresponsive, but able to hold her mother's hand and communicate with head nods. Sensing something was off, her pet dog and cat laid beside her nearly every day and every night. She could be seen gently, barely petting both of them. A few days after Sherry returned home, she had to get rushed back to the hospital where her neurologist discovered severe damage, which he had never seen before. Sherry's condition stabilized again, so she was released to her mother for home care with a nurse, where she laid nearly unresponsive. Her mother said, "At times when I spoke to Sherry, her facial expressions confirmed she could hear me, but wasn't able to talk. Other times, when I sat in the bed with her, I would hold her hand, and she would grasp mine." The last 10 minutes Sherry had alive with her mother, she spoke. Her mother, Tatiana, recalls, "I had spent the entire day in her room, either laying in bed with her or reading to her. I was talking to her and getting no verbal reply. When the nurse arrived, I decided to go to the kitchen to get a snack. Rufus, our dog, ran into the kitchen and whimpered to get my attention. I knew something was wrong. When I got to the room, Sherry was struggling with the IV in her arm, and the nurse was trying to restrain her. I told the nurse to let go and remove the IV temporarily. Soon after, my daughter became lucid and was able to speak for the first time since she received the vaccination. And she said, 'Mom, my heart hurts and I have a headache. It's going to be okay. Don't be angry and don't blame Dad. I've heard you talking to me every day. I tried and couldn't wake up to tell you. Mom, thank you for being my mom. And thank you for all of my animals. Please take care of them. Mom, you were right. There is a heaven. But I wanted to make sure you knew how much I love you, and don't be afraid.' Soon after this, her mother, Tatiana, says, 'My daughter stopped talking, and she laid quietly in my arms with her eyes open and a smile while holding my hand. Then her eyes closed. Her dog Rufus began to whine, and soon after, she slipped off asleep in my arms forever.'" Sherry's pulmonologist and neurologist affirmed that the vaccination was the direct reason for her hospitalization and death, and she is one of the many reasons that I'm here today to condemn these mandates. We're going to keep the clock going while we have a brief moment of silence for Sherry and every other child that died due to these vaccines and this mandate. Thank you. And I got her mother's permission to share that. That's from her eulogy.